What's up, guys? So, we have a few days left at NCA 2, and then we're moving to NCA 3. And it's really strange for me thinking about all this. It's quite an emotional time because obviously, moving out of NCA 1 took the wind out of my sails, because I finally got my own gym, and the place looked amazing. It was small and it was impractical, but it was my gym and it was my first gym and it was the first step on that journey. So I was kind of like, I'm never gonna be as into the second location once I've left this location, but we'll see what happens. And now it's not the same now, but I'm very sad to be leaving NCA 2. And you just look around NCA 2 and see how much heart and soul's gone into it. Like, we as a gym, we've kind of just popped up like mushrooms overnight. Like, the membership base has grown a lot. We have a large competitive team for a gym that's only a year or so old, and we have champions in all the sports training here and competing for us. And we have from beginner to advanced, we have a big competitive team and full classes. So it's in a big location. So maybe it just seems like, and I know it seems like for a few people, that we are like a well-established gym and an old gym, especially considering a lot of people move to Trondheim to study that join up. Maybe they think we've been here for 5 years. Certainly not just over 1 year. But if you really look around the gym, you can see it's written all over the gym. Like, there's so many things that I've had to MacGyver. We had a punch bag I made out of car tires that I asked someone that works at a shop for, and I didn't know how to make that punch bag, but I YouTubed it, and now we had that. And there's a fishing buoy for a reaction bag, and the same thing for an aqua bag that we just picked up at Eula. And because I couldn't afford a new bag, and the sofas were donated. The sofas were just pick up for free from Finn. And the paint job in the hangout area, the red paint doesn't go up to the ceiling because me and my girlfriend painted it, and we're not tall enough to get up there. And obviously I didn't have the money to buy a ladder even. So like, I have rules of the gym written on the walls with a marker pen. Like the toilets, the cubicles, we went around looking for free chipboard or yips or whatever it's called. And we got a couple of carpenters that trained at the gym that were kind enough to make that for us. But before, we just had a windbreak with some curtains hung over the top, with a shop closed and open sign when you were using the toilet. Like, it was pure ghetto. We don't have warm water in the gym even. Like, we're just making do with what we have, and if we don't have it, then we'll make it. And that's the story of NCA, really. It's just the gym that really, really wanted to exist, that needed to exist, and you can see it all over the place. So now we've come from this big open space with just like 60 black mats, 60 meters of mats, with no flags on the wall, no sofas, no treadmills, no bags at all, no strength equipment, no rings, no reception, no extra furniture, nothing. Like, we had some pads, and we had a little bit, like 60 meters of mats in a 1,000 meter location. There was nothing there at all. But the people that trained there, and myself and everybody involved, just wanted NCA to exist so bad. So it's gonna be emotional Friday when I leave that place, but I'm kind of getting distracted. Like the the story is really that, or the message is really that you hear a lot of people, and I hear a lot of people will say, I want to start Muay Thai, or I want to start my own business, or I want to go for this job, or I want to move to this country, or whatever, but I want to be ready first. And from looking back at my journey, I honestly don't think there was a single thing that I was truly ready for at any point. And I've come to the conclusion that you're never ready for the journey, but the journey readies you. And as long as you have a vague idea of where you're going and you really want to go there, the journey will take you down roads. You know, you'll go in a general direction, but the journey will take you on it. And you'll go down some side roads, and you'll go through some detours or some shortcuts, and maybe the shortcuts will work, or maybe the shortcuts will lead to a fork in the road because you missed something and you never forget that lesson. Or maybe you take the long road, and you could have taken the shortcut, and you pay for it in time, and you pay for it in money and effort and emotions, but you're never going to forget that lesson. And you're always going to make sure you're prepared for the just in case, for the what ifs of the future. So you're just learning the whole time. Like you're the student, and the journey is the teacher. And you unless you're with the teacher, you can't learn. I mean, when I started Muay Thai, I didn't even want to really start Muay Thai. I wanted to do some wushu, man. I wanted to do some ninja tricks. Like I wanted to just be jumping and spinning and doing pretty much useless stuff, but maybe with the added bonus of just a couple of straight shots or a roundhouse, so I could, like, handle myself if it needed to. But I was on that Jackie Chan stuff. And I turned up to the gym, and all I knew about Muay Thai was how to write it, how to spell it, which is more than a lot of people, but that was all I knew. I didn't know nothing, didn't know how to punch, didn't know how to kick, knee, elbow, jump rope, shadow box, how many rounds there were. I didn't know a thing. I can't stress that enough. I didn't know a single thing about Muay Thai. And then in a few years' time, I couldn't really afford my membership. So my coach said, okay, you're going to be holding pads every day for a month for Julie Kitchen. And for those who don't know that Julie Kitchen is, she's a Hall of Famer, British Muay Thai, and she's one of, not even an argument that she's one of the greatest female Muay Thai fighters of all time. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. 12, 13-time world champion, and same story with her. She just joined Muay Thai to lose some weight after giving birth to twins, and look at her now. Like, it's amazing. And I'd never held pads for anybody that wasn't like as good as me or less skilled than me. So I how am I going to do that? She's a world champion. She's a world-class fighter. She's unbelievably fit, powerful. She needs specific attention. She needs good pad holding, and she needs hard work. Like I had no idea what I was getting into, and I had no preparation for it. I didn't even have like a grasp of creativity and combination work. Like maybe it was in me somewhere, but I'd never practiced it, and I'd never used it, and I was never like aware of it. And then after a month, that was my first journey, and I was Julie Kitchen's permanent partner after that. We would train together basically every day. We would run together, and we would spar together during the days, and like that wouldn't have happened if I didn't just let the journey teach me and go in unprepared. And then I moved to Norway, and I started doing MMA because there was no Muay Thai, or no Muay Thai that I had any interest in getting involved in. So I was like, oh, well, I got to do something. I got to start whacking people and training how I love to train. So I went to an MMA gym, and after a month, they asked me to teach the the intermediate MMA striking, and I didn't even like MMA. Like I didn't. I watched it when I was young, like 15, maybe younger, but I didn't like it, and I didn't study it, and I had no interest in it. So I was unprepared for that, and I knew I was unprepared for that. And that's the strength, is when you know you're unprepared, you will prepare yourself. And if you don't know you're unprepared, you're gonna find out the hard way. And there's some things you will never know you're unprepared for, and you're going to learn that lesson, like taking the shortcut when you shouldn't have, like I said earlier. And I had to learn, and I learned about MMA striking, and yeah, I consider myself a high-level MMA striking coach now, without a question. But I never would have been if I didn't go in unprepared and take that. And I did that for a bit of free training and a protein bar that I never got. Actually, I got it when I left that gym, so we're squared now. We're cool. And a couple months after I started that, like I got the offer to be paid, and so I had to start my own business, and I had no idea how to start a business. I started a business, and I started taking payments, which was crazy. But I had no idea how to start a business. I had no idea what an organization number was. I had no idea how to file my taxes or get in touch with an accountant or do any of that stuff. But I knew I needed to. So the journey was my teacher and showed me where my weaknesses are. And I just had to in the beginning, just plug the holes. And after that, build a solid foundation and really try and get some headway as a businessman. And that was my first journey into business. And then many years down the road, I'm sitting after having my morning coffee, sitting on the porcelain horse, just browsing Finn, and I saw this location, and I was like, dang, maybe that's the one, and I went for a viewing, and I had never done a negotiation. I had heard a couple of rules from my manager in Oxford Martial Arts Academy, Eddie, but that was good, and I still use those things he taught me, but that was nothing to do with what I was doing now. And I was a doormat, man. Like, they walked all over me. My girlfriend looking at me like, come on, man, just put some demands out there or say something. And she had to step in for me a couple times because I'm too damn shy. But then I ended up with my own gym, with my own location, and I signed the contract. I was like, holy crap. What do I have to do? I got to paint the place. All right. I need, what color, who's going to do it? I need to find someone to do it. And then access, like, how do I get into the gym on these hours? Where do I need to go for this? And where am I going to buy my mats and my pads? And who's going to, oh crap, I need a logo. Like, how do I design a logo? I don't know. I designed a logo on Snapchat, like, because I can't use Photoshop. That's part of the journey I wasn't ready for at all. I downloaded pictures of diamonds from Google. I just typed in diamond picture on Google, and I screenshotted it, and then I opened it on Snapchat from the phone gallery, and I just drew lines on it. And then I would try and find a font on Google and write the gym name, and then I would screenshot that and open that on Snapchat, and then with the horrible, like, the scissors that gets a bit of everything in it, and then layered that over the drawing that I'd done on the diamond. And then luckily my dad is good at the graphic design stuff, so I asked him to tidy it up. And if you can look through my phone gallery from back then, and it's just 150, 200 pictures of these awful diamonds. to get where we want and to get what I wanted, and that's that sorted. But I didn't know about the software. I didn't know how much software costs. I didn't know about data handling, data protection, the requirements for all the saved memberships and personal information and insurance. There's so much that I had no idea, and now I have a much better idea of it. But I never would have known if I just tried to find it in a book, or if I just tried to Google it. Like that polished me up after I got the bare bones of it and kind of carved it out with some experience, and then I got to really know how to use my tools and how to work from there. So the moral of the story, I'll repeat it again, is that you're never ready for the journey, but the journey readies you. So as long as you have a vague idea of what you're going to need, then that's something on the list of things that you have no idea are coming for you. And that can seem scary, but what's more fulfilling than being scared, like of things like this, whether it's fighting or whether it's business or whether it's school or a new country or a new relationship or job or anything, like just doing it and knowing that you didn't really need to get it out of a book, and that you were unprepared for it and you succeeded, and you are currently succeeding anyway. And that's so fulfilling, and it gives you just such an unbelievable boost of confidence and really a sense of self-worth. Like just join the course, just move, get your visa and go, sign up to the job. If you're not prepared for it, like, you will be soon. I know my brother, like, he applied for a job in sales because he wanted to go back to school. My dad said, no, school's not for you. You're better at this and you're better at that, and it's time for you to get a job. And he'd never worked in sales before. He'd never had a relevant job. He had no skills or like on paper or education that would qualify him for this job whatsoever. So, he blagged it. And he got the job, and in a few months he's outperforming a lot of the salesmen that were more qualified to be there on paper than him. And then he got offered another job and with the same boss, and he just said, like, I can't do this stuff. Like, I blagged my way into this job. I think it's time you should know that. And he said, well, then who is better for it than you? And that's so true, man. Like, people that I'll do a burpee for that later, but people that really want it are going to go and get it. So if you want it, go for it, man. I'm so excited for NCA 3. I'm more tired than I ever been. I've been more scared than I ever been. I'm not sleeping great. I'm not eating great. I'm not training great. My eyes are tired. I'm clinging on, man, but I'm having so much fun teaching, and I can't wait for the next journey. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of stuff on that journey that I know nothing about. And it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks, but one brick at a time. I'm going to pull myself out from that pile, and I'm going to go and go and go. And I'm going to use those bricks to build a foundation of something in martial arts in Trondheim that nobody has ever seen before. Something might happen in the meantime, global pandemics and all that stuff, I can't see it coming, but if I keep the train on the tracks, nobody's seen what's about to happen in martial arts in Trondheim ever. I'm gonna make sure of it. So there's gonna be a lot of lessons coming my way, and go start your journey and go get your lessons, man. I promise you, whether you succeed or whether you fail, your life will be better for it. And you can never really fail if you just keep picking yourself up. That's just an irritating, painful win. So yeah, You're never ready for the journey readies you. All right, I took this way too long, but have a great day, guys. Thanks. Peace.